Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome back. It's Woodbine Mohawk Park here in Campbellville, Ontario, set to go as we kick off a 4-day stretch here in the new year. Our first card of the 2026 calendar year begins with 12 dashes on a fast track with some flurries in the area, -9 Celsius, 16 Fahrenheit. A west wind clocked at 17 kilometers an hour isn't that severe in relation to how things have been lately. Part of the snow, and a combination of both, forcing kind of an unplanned vacation for many of us here and many of our players, as it seems like it's been quite a while since we've been back in action. Mother Nature wreaking havoc on the product here, not just here, but in other places in Ontario as well, and south of the border. Forcing the cancellations. But things look good for this weekend. We kick off a 4-day stretch. That is our winter rotation, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, with a new start time. 6:15 Eastern is the new post time. That's why we're hitting the airwaves at 5:30. Once again, Happy New Year, everybody. Chad Rosema back to call the action. Standing by in studio, we've got Randy Waples and John Rallis. They're chomping at the bit to get going. They've got lots to talk about on this 12-race card. What I've got for you, though, changes. So let's roll. Race number 1 to start the early pick 5, guaranteed at $75,000. The Two Dirty Laundry is going to go Can't See Back to a Blind with a Murphy blind on the left added. So Can't See Back to a Blind and an inside Murphy added to the Two Dirty Laundry. Race 2, no changes. Third race, early pick 4 underway. Scratch the 3 LA Mickey. Judges Transportation. Take out the 3 LA Mickey. Pick 6 underway in race 4. Number 7, Like Chaos, open to blind. Open to blind bridle on number 7, Like Chaos in race 4. Fifth race, the 5, JM, bet on 6, blinkers to blind. On the 5, JM, bet on 6. Number 9, Swift Talker, a judge's scratch. Take out the 9, Swift Talker. We have 12 tonight, so that means we've got 3 pick 5s again. The start of the mid pick 5 in race 6 has no changes in the opening leg. Race 7, it's the final of the Niagara, rescheduled from the Boxing Day cancellation. 3-year-old Philly Pacers to battle there, no changes. 8th race to start the late pick 5, number 1, Instantaneous. Shoe change behind, going aluminum to steel behind, and blinkers to blind. On the 1, Instantaneous in race 8. 9th race final of the valedictory for the 3-year-old Colton Gelding Pacers, and it's the start of tonight's late pick 4. Also eligible, 11 National Tier does not draw in. That one is scratched. 10th race, all clear. Race 11, number 6, Bayfield Beach will go blind to blinkers. Blind to blinkers on the 6, Bayfield Beach in race 11. And tonight's 12th and final. Fresh start in the Jackpot High 5. No changes in race number 12. That's what we've got for you early on, ladies and gentlemen. Good luck with all your wagers. Thanks for kicking off your new year right here at Woodbine Mohawk Park. Our first of 12 coming your way in 42 minutes. Downstairs we go. It's the Friday edition of Woodbine Racing Live with Randy and John. Enjoy.
Campbell still the best. 19 in a row. Campbell.
Battle to the wire. Army Chef wins the Simcoe Stakes.
He's big, he's strong, and he has got it going on. Top 25, Canada's horse. Some reach somewhere.
Yeah, motivated on focus.
They are up and pacing.
This is the moment. Gotta one on my opponent.
McWicked on the outside.
Gotta get it the mindset. Gotta put it in motion.
You gotta be kidding me. TCI wins the million.
Game time, bet I'm coming in clutch. No hang time, man, they can't keep up. The game's on the line, seconds.
Lean back, get your picture taken.
Crowning moment on Canadian soil for Bulldog Hannibal.
Motivated on focus.
A late push from Confederate. It's my show. Wins the big show.
This is the moment.
Happy New Year, everybody, and welcome to another year of racing here at Woodbine Mohawk Park. And it's 2026, another year, and hopefully all the stats are clean, and we're hoping to, wishing everybody the best of luck this year as well, good health and good happiness. And we're wishing ourselves some pretty good luck from the handicapping standpoint, as well as I bring in my co-host, the Hall of Famer, Andy Waples. New year, clean slate. That's it. We've got no... how did you deal with this when you drove?
Too many cancellations, John. I'm
you're
eager.
revved up?
I want to add it.
Yeah.
I want to add it. We got
been
to
a
start
while, eh?
working. It has been, yeah. We went all that time off there. you know, I mean, you always kind of want that Christmas break, just not the kind of the way that we got it
Yeah.
with all those cancellations.
Mother
you know?
Nature.
It is, yeah. But I'd still take the cancellations over, bad roads, trucking horses around on the bad roads, having horses and the drivers out in bad conditions. I'll take the cancellations.
How did you all, as a driver, though, how did you deal with, obviously, the start of a new year? Did you want to get off on a hot start from the get-go, or did it not matter to you all that much?
Oh, I think everybody, I think, kind of wants to start it out, start out cracking. You know, sometimes when you start out real good, things just keep snowballing and getting better and better. And as you're driving through the winter and things are going well for you, people notice that. And they're saying, hey, I got a real nice 3-year-old coming back this year. I'm going to use that guy to drive him. He's winning all the races. He's a hot driver. So I always thought it was really important to be here in the winter time, basically putting it out there that you're going to be here on the good nights too.
Any New Year's resolutions for you this year?
I want to lose weight.
Okay.
Yeah, I quit smoking last year, which
yeah.
was good. But unfortunately, sometimes when you quit smoking, the old weight can kind of come on too. And I'm a little bit porky for me. So that's my biggest New Year's resolution, is to try to get back into some kind of a shape instead of egg-shaped.
Yep, and you know what? A lot of people didn't believe when you said that you had stopped smoking.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people walking around the paddock, and they're like, no, he's
I just
screwing
quit.
around.
One day I just said enough. That's the way to do it.
Pretty
I think
good.
that's the way. If you're going to smoke, I know that it sounds like preaching, but it really isn't. You just have to say to yourself, what would you do if you met up with 7-year-old Randy Waples on the playground and said, hey, Randy, I can't give up these cigarettes? I would have laughed at my older self. So, it was a struggle, but after about 3 months, I'll tell you, you don't even think about them anymore.
All right, so yeah, good habit to break without a doubt. But let's pick some winners though to
Let's
start
do
off
that.
2026, because I'm excited to dig into the handicapping, a nice clean slate. If you keep track of your yearly wins or profits or losses, this is we're starting at 0 here tonight.
That rogues gallery.
Let's hope if we can get off on the right foot here. But we're going to look at our top 8 circuit drivers throughout the year. This is throughout the year. And James McDonald, Louis Watt, Doug McNair, Jody Jamieson, all on this board. I want to say this has to probably do with wins, I guess.
I would have to think, because I would love to. Where did McClure end up money-wise on our circuit?
Yeah.
Because boy, he would be deep.
I think he won. I know he won 199 races. I just don't know how many he won at some of those other tracks.
Right. I'm looking more at the earnings.
Yeah.
I can remember the first time that I went to the front in the wins column, my father looked at me and he said, the other column is the one that counts, meaning the winning, the money. So I always kind of looked at that. $6.7 million. And I mean, I know that doesn't sound like a whole lot, but I'll bet you that moves him into probably second, right in behind James, maybe third. But come on, $6.7 million with only 177 wins. I mean, this guy really cashed when it counted.
Really good year. I think Louis earned more than him this year. I believe, obviously traveling to the
This
U.S.
circuit?
Maybe not this circuit.
Yeah, see, I'm thinking in the circuit, he might be in second place.
Yeah, really good season again. The ones that stand out predominantly, obviously, Bojangles, but a lot of provincial success for Bob McClure as well. And obviously an O'Brien Award finalist for Driver of the Year. And he sat behind a lot of finalists as well. I mean, he had a really strong year. And nice to see Trevor Henry, Tyler Borth, Travis Cullen rounding out that list. Travis Cullen, I mean, we see 133 wins on this circuit. But how about the work that him and his mom Jody put forth across Ontario at the B tracks? I mean, just everywhere. They're hard workers, and they just they're at every racetrack racing all week long.
True, I completely agree with that. Really hard working kind of a guy. But I mean, how much of a pair of losers are you and I when we sat there? And one of my conversations to you tonight is, hey, did you watch that filly that Travis Cullen raced at London the other night? And the first word out of your mouth is, whoa, what a big move.
Big move, yeah.
Exactly. Now, I mean, how bad are we on a Wednesday night, December the 31st, and we're watching the races from London? We
didn't get invited to those big parties, Randy. Just, not a bad alternative watching racing to close out 2025. Top 8 circuit trainers here. We're going to see Dave Maneri tops on this board. just a huge year for Dave Maneri, but really a huge year for everybody else here this year as well. Kyle Fellows, Jody Cullen, Greg McNair, all with really, really strong campaigns as well.
You know, in a way, Logan Park, he had to have hurt Kyle Fellows' overall standing, you know, because that's a horse that you basically have penciled in for on this circuit, you know, probably $250,000, you know, I would have to think anyway. But yeah, real nice bunch. And again, big year also by McNair, you know, 13.9 win percentage, but almost $2.5 million put
just
away.
Quietly a good year. Like
Yeah.
he just has steady performers, and he has a stable, obviously a busy stable, but he's just got a consistent.
He's a guy
barn.
that's really quietly made a Hall of Fame career.
Yep, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And Carmen Asiello, Gary Murner, Tony Beaton, Ben Bayer-Jean, more talented names on this list. And again, each of them having really good years as well in their own right as well.
Big year for all of them, but I'm going to make a prediction that Murner absolutely blows that number away this year.
Yep.
You
He's
know,
getting a lot. He's
getting a lot of
his
nice
stable's
horses.
growing.
His
and you're right.
stable's
Yeah.
growing, and he's really sharp.
Yep.
You know, so
again, all right. So we wish everybody the best of luck this year as well. Looking forward to see not only horses return later on this year, of course, when they come back as 3-year-olds, but I'm excited to see some of the 2-year-olds as well. It's crazy. We're just recapping 2025, and it's January right now, and we're thinking about the Grand Circuit
American Cup.
North American Cup. It's going to come quick. It's going to come really quick. I hear Chad say it all the time. It just comes really, really fast, and just something that I look forward to.
the
a
New
great deal.
Holland series to me.
That's the stepping stone.
That's the stepping stone.
Yeah.
When we see the New Holland series come out, then we know, hey, the nice weather's coming and the good horses are coming right behind them. Not that these horses are bad; they're just a little bit more high caliber in the summertime.
We still see some good ones, right? Remember Nautical Hanover before he had that little bit of unfortunately, that mishap in that Gold Cup, but we saw Brew Hanover as well. We've seen some good ones on the trotting and pacing side in those series. That's a pretty good one that I always look forward to as well.
Again, agreed. And years ago, they used to have some real nice wintertime series. There's one for the older trotters called the Horseman's Trot, and for the pacers, I think it was called the Toronto series.
Okay.
Well, they were good races too. Yeah.
All right. Speaking of good races, let's dig into this Friday night program. One thing I'm glad that New Year's is gone. I know what days of the week it is now, because I had no idea what day
I
was
hear
what.
ya.
Every
I
day
hear
was
ya.
just the same to me. Now I know that today's Friday, even though it feels like a Monday,
Yes.
because we've been off for so long.
Yeah.
It just feels like you're coming back from Christmas break. But this is Friday night. Technically our race week starts, right? We've got four straight days, but we're going to be right back at
We
it.
got 12
here.
tonight too.
12 races tonight. I think 12 tomorrow as well. So I'm definitely looking forward to the next couple of nights. But looking forward to this opener, Randy, because this is a pretty competitive field that we're going to see going postward. We've got some pacers, a full field of 10. We see a few horses taking some support here, a few fillies. Gallus Black Beauty. I thought that daughter of Bulldog Hanover put forth a pretty nice effort in her career debut. Much better than that qualifying effort, I thought. I think she's definitely a contender in this spot. There's ones that I'm intrigued with without a doubt, and one of them specifically being the starter from the inside, Sporty Evie, one that's going to be making career start number 2. Now, we got a chance to see her in the summertime, Randy. Just things didn't seem to work out. She didn't look like herself. She missed some time. She's coming off a couple of qualifying efforts right now, and I think that most recent qualifying effort, I think both of them were sneaky good. And I think the last one definitely was a step in the right direction. And I like her in this spot tonight. I'm going to give her a whirl on top, this daughter of Sports Writer. And let's highlight that qualifying effort, because I believe you also went to her on top in this spot as well. And this was one that caught your attention, this daughter of Sports Writers prep as well.
Yeah, I thought both qualifiers were strong. It's unfortunately we lost a little bit of a date, but coming from this barn doesn't bother me as bad, because I know that they'll whip one down here, or they got a really fast track at their farm. They can train them. They always seem to. It's never fitness with the McNair horses. They might draw a bad or get a bad trip or something. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that either. Dougie never gives a horse a bad trip. So, that's the way I'm looking at it. But you can see Dougie sliding up the inside. And what I liked about her is at all times, it seemed like she had good go on the end of it. I like the size of her. Looks like she's out of a Mach 3 mare. She's got a little bit of Mach 3 looks to her too, kind of built like a little bit of a tank. I like her in here. Now, I'm not a big fan of the rail, but she did have the rail in that first qualifier and had no issues, got away 5th. I think he's going to get away a little bit closer with her in here tonight. And one thing about Dougie, he is going to give you an opportunity. Now, one thing I'll say about her too, though, is I'm struggling a little bit. How do you pronounce her name again? The last part?
Sporty Evie.
Evie.
Evie, I want to say I've screwed up. I've butchered these names in the past, kind of similar names as well. I know you have a history of that as well.
Bad.
Yeah.
So it's Evie.
I hope we're right about that.
Okay, it's not Evie.
You could be. You now got to ask Greg to make sure. That's one thing I'm going to do before race number
You do
one.
that.
I'll do that. I'll get confirmation on that. We don't want any more name mishaps without a doubt. Right? Not without a doubt. But one that others went to from the outside is going to be Beach Wiggle. A lot of intrigue with this filly, though, Randy. You know what? The thing is, it's a guessing game. We couldn't see that qualifying effort because they're not televised at Flamborough. The line looks really, really good. That's why, for me, I decided to take a wait-and-see approach. She starts outside. She's coming off one qualifying effort, and she's going to be making career start number one. I said, let me wait and see. But look, right now you're getting double-digit odds. This is a filly. I wouldn't be surprised if she popped up with a big effort tonight.
I wouldn't be surprised if she jumped up with a win. I'm not using her either. And it wouldn't surprise me if she jumped up with a win. My only thing is I would be more surprised if he over-raced her.
Okay.
And the big thing is like what we were talking about a little bit earlier, too. Collins unleashed a 3-year-old pacing filly at London on Wednesday night. Can't remember her name. But anyway, he raced her from off the pace. First lifetime start, he brought her like from off the pace. She ended up second over. The horse that was towing her up either made a break or cleared, and he turned this thing loose around the last turn at London. And I mean, John, she flew. So I would imagine these two trained down together. I'm thinking that this was maybe the stronger of the two if he's electing to bring this one to this track. I don't think he's going to over-race her from the 10 hole, but like John said, I wouldn't be shocked to see her come up with the Gagne.
There's always a number, and I think, again, you're getting a good enough number where you can say, why not include her in a pick 5 ticket? Why not maybe sprinkle a win bet in there, or maybe, use her for some exotics or whatnot. But look, this is a homebred of Travis, Jody, and Ron, so one that I'm intrigued to see. And if they think there's ability there, I don't think this is maybe a filly that they're going to probably race overly aggressive, especially in career start number one from the outside. But a lot of fillies in this spot that I'm intrigued with. But Sport Evie, the direction that Randy and I are going to go to in the opener. We're going to move on to race number 2. That's going to be the back half of that early double. We've got a field of 8 going postward here. And to me, the middle of the gate looks to be ideally where a lot of us are going to be going. Head of the class, Don It's Over, and Legacy's Jailbreak. You, on the other hand, you're going to go value shopping here, and let's talk about your top selection here. Double dipping. You're going to try and for a value player here, Randy. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, well, I mean, Sarah does a really good job with this horse. Sarah Baergeron, she races him a lot down in the summertime in Saratoga. Races a lot of her horses down there. What's the other one?
Dealing with Dewey.
Dealing with Dewey, yeah. But she does a really good job, and I mean, we don't get to see her training average, being that this is a reset into the first racing date of this year. But trust me, she has a pretty good average that she does. She does well. I like this horse. I think he does. Whenever we do see him race here, he does a good job. Mario used to drive him a lot for Sarah last year. When he's in his class, he's raceable. When he's not in his class, Mario would just kind of hide him. I look at it as a horse that's coming up here that was racing good in Saratoga in optional 25s that's going to take a stab at the 12 to 15. Personally, I don't remember Double Dippin' ever racing at a 12 to 15 level. He's always been at a low conditions, but around the 25 claimer area. So I'm going to take a chance with him. Legacy's Jailbreak, going to throw her in for second. Didn't like her on top in her last race, but boy, oh boy, did I like her from coming off of a helmet. So 7-6 is the way that I'm going to go. You?
Yeah, I went to Legacy's Jailbreak here in this spot, but I didn't key her on my multi-leg tickets. I'm like you. I thought she was just kind of so much the best. It didn't really matter how she was raced last time out. I don't think that she looked as sharp or maybe as strong. Got a little bit weak, but had a sizable enough lead where it didn't really seem to matter. But you're going to go lone wolfing, Randy. You're the only one using double dipping anywhere on the ticket, and you're going to be using him on top. So you're definitely going to get rewarded if
Let's
he
go,
hits
Sarah.
Let's go double dipping. Obviously getting a pilot who's very, obviously familiar with him as well. Aaron Byron, who's been driving some of Sarah's stock when she does race at Saratoga. There's our thoughts in race number 2. We're going to move on to race number 3. Big scratch here.
Ooh, is it La
Mickey? I think it's La Mickey, right? Or is it L.A. Mickey? I'm not sure.
I would say L.A. Mickey would be the way I would
go. L.A. Mickey, big scratch here, though, Randy. This really opens the door for anybody to win this race. But
I would have said Evie, too.
Yeah, exactly. You're not the best with names. We've known that.
Horrible.
We've known that for sure. But Sugar Pie Honey, one that I think is going to default to taking a lot of play. She was the morning line favorite. She's coming off a pair of qualifying efforts. Look, this is a mare who, when she raced as a 3-year-old last year, I mean, that was a really good season. Just 12 starts, but 7 times in the winner's circle. off those qualifying efforts, I think she's ready for a big performance tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you can see if you look down her card there, the one time she shows Bird beating Dirty Diana. How would Dirty Diana looking here?
Oh, big
you know,
time.
I mean, so I think that she's class. I will say that I went to L.A. Mickey up on top, or La Mickey up on top there. I like the way that she's been racing for Paul Court. Jody's coming right back with her, and you know, last week she raced non-winners of 6,000. Now she, to me, takes a little bit of a drop back down into this non-winners of 3. I think it's a little bit easier competition-wise, but now with her scratch, Sugar Pie Honey is the way that I'm going to go in here. And to tell you the truth, John, now that La Mickey is gone, I would look at Sugar Pie Honey as a single.
Yeah, same for me. And we're going to get a chance to see Sugar Pie Honey's most recent qualifying effort again. The last time we saw her race was in that grassroots final on September 27th. And then now she's going to be returning here for start number 1 in 2026 off a couple of qualifying efforts. So we're going to highlight the most recent one. I thought that she was moving well in the late stages of this mile. You could see that James right now is 4th on the inside, but he's about to angle, this mare out. And I thought she was moving well towards the wire. Again, James still in amongst them, going to move over to the outside again. And the moment she starts getting some momentum, I thought that she was moving really well. Really good body language from this mare, good body language from the driver. I think this is one ready for a big effort tonight.
I agree with you. I like the qualifier because at the head, getting to the head of the lane, he had a choice to make. He was either going to slide her up the inside or move her over to the outside. And I think he took the outside route because she had too much go for where he was, where he was thinking about sending her. So I think she showed us at the head of the lane that she was live.
Now we're going to see a sweep now of a sweep of ones here in this spot. One that I'm intrigued with. You know what? I think I probably made a misprint there, but I'm intrigued with Sunshine Magic, one that you've got underneath. I actually meant to use her in for second. Coming off a nice win on December 20th. I think this is a nice mare. Look at the competition that she took on earlier on this year. Obviously, the Absolutions, the likes of her, the likes of Wicked Pace, some really good fillies and mares that she took on, and I think this is a daughter of Better's Delight that's got some ability as well.
I agree, and you know the funny thing about it too, there's Jeff Hunt, Pat's son, doesn't do a lot of driving here, but have you ever seen him drive bad? Because I haven't.
It's
you know
aggressive.
What I mean?
He's aggressive.
He's aggressive,
Yeah.
but I never see him in a bad spot with them. If he's not where he's supposed to be, it's because that's what he wanted. And if he wants to have them, in a good spot, he gets them in a good spot. I think he does a really good job.
Lady Freight, I think, is really going to benefit from a scratch in a
Agreed.
shorter field here, right? I mean, this is one that we know has some wheels on the end of it. I don't love the date. I don't, obviously, but this is one that we know we're going to get a good run from her late in the mile.
Yeah, agreed. I got her in now, I guess, in for third. Now, Rock Shadow didn't use her because of the stale date. December the 6th, just a little bit too much. But now, again, with the scratch of the 3-horse, she might be playable down in on the bottom.
Absolutely. Yeah, one that I do think can pick up a pretty big piece. We're going to move on to race number 4. That's going to kick off the pick 6 sequence. We've got a field of 10 going postward. We're going to switch over to the trot here. Lily's Last, one that was a good second last time out, and what was her first start on Lasix, and we're going to be scratched down to a field of 9 here. Now, Walk on the Moon is going to be scratched, and I think that's going to help a horse from the outside in Meadowview Rothy that I think is a contender in this spot. Just curious to see what Bob is going to elect to do with this mare off the card. But Lily's Last, one that you backed before she even raced on Lasix. Some tough trips, some efforts that maybe she was a little bit more flat than maybe we anticipated. But I tell you what, once we saw that L pop up, I thought she bounced back in a big, big way last time out.
Completely different horse last week, wasn't she? Like even going in behind the gate, everything about her was different. She was really, really sharp still, but not aggressive sharp, just a sharp the way that you want them. I think the Lasix really calmed her down. It just seems like it really worked wonders on her. So let's take a look at that replay. First start Lasix for Lily's Last. And when their first start Lasix, John, you know what happens after that?
Second start Lasix.
That's right. And then we know what happens. Randy's all over them, right? Okay, so she goes into this last race because she was going to make her appearance on the Lasix list. She missed 2 weeks going into the start. Had the 9-hole, made a big leave out of there in 28 and change. You can see the weather. She's there at the half and 56 and 4. She's getting muscled up on the inside. Horse come to remove. She didn't really want to let them go. She finally lets them go. Now she's muscled back up down on the inside, starting to get a little bit tired. But like I said, she was at the half and 56, took a big park out of the 9-hole, 2 weeks off between races, and she's really the only one other than the 5-horse that's making good ground, gains on the end of it. And the 5-horse, I think that they could have went around again and he wasn't going to get by her. So Lily's Last is the way I'm going to go.
And you love the winner on that night, right? Saltland Domino, who raced good to be 5th last time out. I believe was first start Lasix as well. Saltland Domino to be 5th, bounced back, second start Lasix, and was an easy winner. We're going to see that same pattern here with Lily's Last, and you're going to hope that, we're going to hope that it's a winning formula. But again, I know you didn't use her on your ticket though, Randy, but I do think this Meadowview Rothy, post-10 or not, I think she's one that's a bit of a danger here if she can work out the right trip.
Yeah, I've used her different times. I like the way that Mario was kind of bringing her along in that, but I don't know, every once in a while, I just don't really like her gait. Doesn't really suit me, you know what I mean? So she's not one that I go right looking for. I see that they're going to use Bobby on her tonight, and she does draw the 10-hole. You know, I mean, she's been racing, okay, decent, I guess. I just think that I got to let her prove it to me, though.
One that I think might be intriguing now with that bridle change, like Chaos. I mean, this is one that I wouldn't be surprised if he popped up with a pretty good effort. He's going to inherit post 6, tonight with the scratch of the 5. I think this is one that, if I could maybe do it over, maybe I would use him in my pick 5.
Yeah, open to blind.
Yeah.
That's the interesting change on him.
We're going to see a down the road approach potentially tonight.
I would have to think.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to go to a blind bridle to take him back.
All right, there's our thoughts on race number 4, scratched down to a field of 9. We're going to move on to race number 5. That's going to close out this early pick 5. We're going to be scratched down to a field of 9 in this spot. And Job Hunter's, riding a 3-win race streak, 3-race win streak, I should say. And this is one that is really, really sharp. I don't think we're going to get 6-1 on this mare, even from the far outside. And I think she's going to have every opportunity to add a 4th straight win tonight.
Yeah, I think that she's the one to beat, but I'm going to try to beat her.
Okay.
I see the morning line right now is Tamara Hanover, with the rail. She looks playable in here as well. I didn't use her, though. I'm going to go JM Bet on 6.
Okay.
I just think that I've seen her race against better competition, tougher horses, and she's been, now she's back here in basically the lowest fillies and mares competition that we had. And I think that the first 2 starts here was just an adjustment. The last start was much, much deeper than the first start. She had multiple moves and still had some more go on the end of it. I think she's ready to go. And Blake, maybe he's sending us a little bit of a Christmas notice. Bridle change on JM Bet on 6. They're going to take the blinkers off, and they're going to go straight blind bridle on her as well. So like John alluded with Light Chaos, I think both of them are being hung up and sent out to potentially go forward off the gate or even cut the mile.
In one that you liked last time out. I mean, you backed her last time out, and she raced well, like you mentioned, had to make a few moves. And I think another middle of the gate draw bridle change. I think that she's definitely one that I think could race well. I opted to leave her off. I might end up regretting it. I thought All Smoke and Mirrors raced okay. This is one that's got ability when she's on her game. I just haven't liked what I've seen at the end of it in some of those efforts given the trips.
Yeah, she had a real good go going there for a bit, but 43 starts last year. Now she's headed into this year. I'm thinking that, there's a point that maybe she's saying, hey, I need a little time in the field.
All right.
I don't think we're getting her at a sharp best.
I agree. And there's our thoughts on race number 5. We're going to move on to race number 6. That's going to kick off the mid-pick 5. We've got 3 pick 5s here this evening. And I have a feeling we're going to be reliving some heartbreak. And I say that because this Montana Slim, starting from the far outside tonight in field of 8, one that you and I both backed last time out. I believe Garnet did as well. 21-1. It was in the first leg of that pick 6 sequence. Pick 6 that, ended up paying 600. I had the ticket. It was, all was well, except it would have been a lot more had Montana Slim been a victor there. And let's look at his most recent effort, though, Randy, because, again, heartbreaking to watch, because this is a horse that if he just was able to pace straight, I think he gets the job done. But nevertheless, a really, really good effort from this Dave Kelly trainee.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Really, really had good movement on the end of it. You can see that 27 flat on the end of it. Good movement, but just couldn't get the job done with JJ Xavier. I myself am going to go Mr. Ibiza in here. Yeah, I'm going to go back to him. This is going to be second start. Kyle Fellows, obviously the first start. Not a whole lot happened in there for James and Kyle, but I think that this horse is in a better spot in this pop-up series, and McDonald returns. I think Mr. Ibiza is the way that I'm going to go, but Montana Slim, yeah, right there, just 21-1, John.
Was just moving side to side, but you could see he was running in. He's trying to veer him out a little bit, and unfortunately his momentum couldn't carry him into the winner's circle. But a few of us going back in the direction of Montana Slim, who really finds himself, I think, in a you know, in a pretty good spot here as well to get the job done. I just don't know what trip we're going to see from the outside.
Yeah.
Maybe we see a more aggressive approach. I don't know, but this is one that I think definitely showed enough for me to say.
What's the
I'm
odds
going to
tonight?
back him a lot shorter.
Yeah,
I mean,
like what?
I think
He's favorite.
probably the favorite in
Yeah.
the spot. Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand who else could be. But you know something?
I could see easily the best taking some support just because of the barn that he hails from.
True. Okay. Well, the 6 and the 7 horse, I think, are more than usable in here.
Yep.
The 7 horse, this don't go to sleep on the 7 horse just yet. I'm telling you, don't go to sleep on this guy just yet. He's getting ready for a big one, I would have to think. I'm going to throw him in on the bottom of my ticket tonight.
All right, that's the first leg of that mid-pick 5, a field of 8 going postward to kick off race number 6. We're going to move on to race number 7 here, and we've got a Niagara Series final here for 3-year-old pacing fillies. This is a really deep race, and it gets deeper given the how the post positions shook out. Kiki D. Hanover, who's coming off back-to-back wins. Look, this mare has been racing really, really well, but what's she going to do from the far outside? I think we're going to see an aggressive approach, but aren't we going to see that from several in here?
Yeah, that's the whole thing. It's the final, right?
Yeah.
Nobody really wants to sit last, and there's no possible way that Kiki D. Hanover is going to get away unless she's forwardly placed. But like you said, there's all kinds of them that are going to be forwardly placed in here. So how much is it going to take out of her? If she drew the middle of the gate, I'm not 100% sure if I'm not putting her on top. But I'm going to throw her in for third. Highland Delight is the way that I'm going to go. Just quickly before we show you the replay on her, she raced November the 29th at Flamborough. You know, and then she comes back, misses a little bit of time into that first leg of the Niagara, and she ends up finishing third in there when he tries a chop with her. And I think that she, with the 2 weeks off, that, you know, maybe it wasn't necessarily the right time to try it, but it certainly wasn't going to hurt her, and she was the favorite. So he tries it, and she ends up finishing third. I think a little bit light into that race. Now, you would think that the 19th, December the 19th, the race that we're going to show you, she would be a little bit tighter. And I think that maybe she was a little bit tighter. I still think that the December 19th is still paying for December the 12th. So there's going to be multiple moves on December the 19th. We're going to show you that one now. She has the rail. She pushes out of there pretty good to get away third. Then she's going to have to come with a first over move. She's not going to have any answers for Kiki D. Hanover, but she's got the answer this week, which I think is a better, like now everybody's kind of going with a stale date. She's got a middle of the gate to go with, and I really do, in my opinion, think she's the deepest horse in here. I'm just hoping that Benny Hollingsworth is going to get a chance to give her a good chance. You can see Michael Whalen with Who Are You? I'm using her in here as well, down on Jody's back. But this other filly coming first over, just no answers for the filly up in front. But she's not going to have to come first over, I don't think, tonight. I think she's in a much, much better situation. He has to know that Jody or a couple of these other horses are going to be coming out of there. Why not blast out of there and try to sit close?
I wanted to use Who Are You on top because I thought that was a really good effort, but again, there's speed I think there's a lot of speed to her inside, and again, Jody's gonna have to get his mare involved. I think Park Avenue Janet was a solid effort last time out. I think we're gonna see her get involved early on as well. I don't know what to make of Better Double Down. I used her. She's gonna be my all-in play, and I might end up regretting that. I'm banking on the filly that I saw a few starts ago when she ended up falling short in that Harvest Series final. That everything wrong happened in that race imaginable, and yet she still almost pulled it off. I can't say that I loved the effort last time, but I'm not going to sit here and say that I thought it was stellar. Even though it was a winning effort, from my standards, I thought it was an underwhelming winning effort, in my opinion. What did you think?
I thought it was okay, but I can honestly tell you, she's the one I'm trying to beat.
Okay.
And she's your top pick?
She's going to be again, I'm banking on the filly that I saw a few starts ago. If we see the one that we saw last time out, I don't know if that's going to get the job done in here personally.
Yeah, I like the way that Herb's bringing her in here, and I think that the reason why she looked a little bit light in her last start was that he raced her in the Niagara. Herb's a sharp cookie. He raced her in the Niagara. She finished second. He knows now there's only 2 legs, and she's made the final. So the next week, I say he goes real light on her that week, hoping to go hard on her this week coming up, but we ended up canceling. So I think that the way that she raced last week was basically the reason why was because Herb was trying to set her up for the final. So I still think that she's the one that's going to be coming into the final. You know, to me, the one to beat. That's specifically Better Double Down is the one that I'm going after, not Kiki D. Hanover, Better Double Down.
It's funny because we're talking about all these speed threats in terms of what we're going to see off the car. that might benefit the rail starter, Woodmere Betcha, who has been racing really well, has shown some good pace on the end of it. All this early speed, that might be to a benefit of hers. She's one that I wouldn't take lightly in this spot.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
And another one that can cook up some speed too. What about Gucci Sealster?
Yep.
You know, he's going to come out of there with her because that's her whole bread and butter too. Get out of there, get her into a good spot, and then sit and see what happens.
A competitive race here in this
good.
Niagara Series final, especially with the way this draw shook out. So if you really like one in there, you're going to really extract some value if you can take a stand on one in particular. Race number 9, that's going to be the valedictory final here for these 3-year-old Colts and Gelding Pacers. We've got a field of 10 here going posted, and the morning line favorite, Get Wings, a winner of 3 of his last 4. He's got a good draw to work with. He's got gate speed, and he's got versatility. And is he the direction you're going to go in here tonight?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think he's the horse bringing in the best momentum of them all. You know, Louis drove him his first start here, was an easy winner and set him up well, multiple moves, but you know, he was set up real good. His next start, Jody picks him back up, and he's an easiest of winners. We just actually showed you. Oh no, we didn't show you that replay. We are going to show you the replay of Get Wings. My opinion, the easiest of wins. You know, the head of the stretch, he's on top by 3, eventually wins by 2.5, but to me, that's just a shutdown horse. You know, I think that Jody knows exactly that this guy's the guy to beat, and I think that with the middle of the gate, he's going to go out of there and let the rest of them try to beat them. I don't see anybody beating him. Now, maybe Blazing Cruiser if he'd got the better draw, but with him coming from the outside and Get the Wings having the middle of the gate 6-hole, I don't know if they're going to beat this guy, and he does look strong in here.
I would have liked to see that throwdown between Magical Bet and Get Wings. Obviously, once Magical Bet put in steps, it was a lot easier for Get Wings. I don't know if it would have made a difference anyways, though. You don't seem to think so, do you? Okay.
No, I don't. I think that Magical Bet would have ended up finishing second in this race. I truly do. You know, finish second. But no, and then Jody's got him shut down again. You know, and this is way before the wire. So I think he could have won the race by 6 or 7 lengths.
Obviously, James aboard Magical Bet, who did make that miscue, and we've seen miscues from him in the past in similar spots as well. But he also drove one last time out that did put in steps at the start of the race, right at the gate. In Blazing Cruiser, he's not going to be sitting behind him tonight, but I thought his recovery was really, really good, Randy. And this is an effort that I also want to highlight because, he never had a chance from the word go. But he made up a lot of ground, and he looked sharp at the end of it.
Yeah, no doubt about that. This is a horse that possesses a ton of speed. We talked about that earlier. Some horses, have different talents. This guy, his biggest talent, in my opinion, he is fast and crazy fast. Sometimes I think his legs gets in his way. He gets them moving so fast there that he can't get them out of the way, and then he probably interferes with himself. It's never a lameness thing or anything like that, but I think that probably sometimes he gets doubled up. He wants at it so bad that he probably interferes with himself, and he ends up making a little bit of a break. Great recovery, had all that time off, and now right here, James really puts him to task, makes him put a little bit of effort on the bottom of it, and he does put up a good effort and finishing second in there. But James had a choice, and he elects to go to the horse that you've been following pretty steady, that Magical Bet.
I'm going to give him another shot, just hoping that he can stay at it because it's not like the effort was poor. It's just that he jumped it off again. He's jumped it off in the past. Arby's Tenacious T, the one that I was intrigued to see what he would do when he came over from Indiana. This was a purchase for the new ownership group. That was a good effort. A nice confidence boosting score. I know, obviously, with Blazing Cruiser jumping it off, that certainly helped him. But I thought he looked sharp in that win. So I think this is off that effort, I think he can build off of it in the final, and he draws well. So, again, another competitive race in this final tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. My numbers, I went 6, 9, 4, and 8, and my all-in tonight is going to be Get Wings.
Okay, there's a look at race number 9. That's going to be the last leg of that pick 6. We're going to move on to race number 10. This is going to close out that mid-pick 5. We've got a field of 7 here, and I was really curious to see which way James was going to go in this particular race because I thought DMS Universe raced really, really well in her career debut. Dreamfair Diamond, I expected a little bit more in her most recent effort, but James opts to go to the starter of Cattle Wash over DA Miss Universe. Curious to hear your thoughts on that.
I think Dreamfair Diamond is a horse with a whole ton of ability and talent, but I do think that she's going to have to be managed and taught a little bit too.
Okay.
She's not coming in here just absolutely push button. I don't see it that way. But like I said, what I do see is a horse, that's got a V12 engine inside of her there. So, James is kind of taking his time with her, and I was a little bit interested too, which way that he was going to go in this race. And I think he answered all questions by going with Dream Fair Diamond on which one he thought was the deeper of the two. So Dream Fair Diamond is the way that I'm going to go in here as well. And I think it's her race to lose.
Okay, I went to a DA Miss Universe. Mike Whalen, I think, is going to pick up a super live steer here, but I'm intrigued with Acquired Taste. Honestly, if the pace collapses in this spot in a short field, why can't she pick up a big piece of this tonight? I think she's a sleeper in here.
I agree. I threw her in on the bottom of it, and I caution again. I said this a few weeks ago. I caution again. Greg Manning at some point is going to start winning races.
All right, there's a look at race number 10. That's going to close out that mid pick 5 again. We've got 12 tonight, so we've got 3 pick 5 sequences. And speaking of pick 5 sequences, let's take a look at the Hall of Famers' early pick 5 ticket idea here. And curious to see how many singles you've got here. Three singles to close it out. All right.
Here you go, eh?
New Year, same Randy.
Yes, you know it, eh? I'm just a bugger for the punishment, aren't I?
All right, let's go through your ticket.
So Sporty Evie and Gala's Black Beauty in the first race, and race 2, I'm going to go double dip, and I hope that that's the separator for me. Legacy's Jailbreak, going to back it up with that one. And then in race 3, here come the singles. Sugar Pie Honey singled in race number 3. Race number 4, Lily's Last is going to be my single, and in race number 5, JM bet on 6. Okay. It's not that obviously it's a $4 ticket, so it's not a very expensive ticket, but I do think I can get it down.
All right, my ticket a lot more expensive than yours. $36, obviously affordable, or is it $18? There is a scratch. See, I am scratched down to a field
Look at
of.
You go. You make money even when you're not making money.
Somehow everything just becomes a lot cheaper. And that Sugar Pie Honey is going to be a single for me now. I'm going to inherit that single. I'm going to go all in on Sporty Evie. I think she's going to be my maiden breaker here in this spot. I'm really intrigued to see what the start of Sports Rider on Sporty Evie. Yeah, okay. Yeah. You're making me second guess every name now going forward. But 2 deep in race number 4. I'm going to go to the 2 and the 10. Lily's Last. One that merits a lot of respect, but I am going to use Meadowview Rothy, and 3 deep for me in race number 5. I think Job Hunter can win. Tamara Hanover merits respect, I think, in there. All Smoke and Mirrors for me as well. Maybe I should have thrown in Jam Bet on 6, though.
She can be tough in here.
Yeah, she could.
She's with the middle of the gate, and then him going to a blind bridle. You'd almost think that that's how he's setting her up for, So there's my mid pick 5. We're going to start this out a little different, John. We're going to all race number 6. This is that Montana Slim race. I mean, I'm not putting him back up on top, but boy, oh boy, I mean, if he wins this race and happens to go off at a big number, I'm using him. So all race number 6, race number 7, my Highland Delight is going to be, again, a separator, I hope, in there. And then in race number 2 and race 8 and 9, I go 2 deep and 3 deep, and then the other single going to come along in race number 10, and that's going to be Dream Fair Diamond.
All right, there's a look at my pick, mid pick 5, and again, I'm going to go single. I'm all in on Montana Slim. I think this is one that raced really, really well. Again, we're not going to get the same number we got last time out, but this thing was flying on the end of it, so I'm excited to see what this 6-year-old gelding can do tonight. And I'm going all in on Better Double Down. This is the risk. Again, if I see the filly that I saw a few starts ago, I'm feeling confident. Again, I just hope that she can take a step forward off that win in her most recent, because I can't say that I was in love with that winning performance. But and then some coverage to close things out. I opted to leave off Dream Fair Diamond. I just think that DA Miss Universe, I think this is one that can come with a pretty big effort as well. But I couldn't separate several of them in that valedictory, Randy. I found it to be tough.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I found that race to be quite tough as well.
All right, there's a look at some pick 5 ticket ideas, and let's look at some of our plays of the night as well. And I have a feeling you mentioned a couple of them already, so let's look at your 4-pack.
Okay, so we're going to start things off in race number 2, and that's going to be Double Dippin'. He's going to be my worth a look, shipping back in here from Saratoga. In race number 4, it's going to be Lily's Last. Second start, Lazek. Second start, Kyle Fellows for her. Race number 8 is going to be Beat the Favorite, Showstop for Dave Kelly. And my all-in, Get Wings.
All right, Showstop I really like in there as well. I think this is one that is ready for a big effort. I think you liked him last time out in what was a tough trip. My maiden breaker, Sporty Evie, Spot Play, Montana Slim, all in Better Double Down. My worth a look, Saltwind Infusion, I thought took a big step forward last time out.
Yeah,
so I'm curious,
absolutely
not
agree.
One that, again, I'd be going all in on, but I thought took a step forward last time out. Maybe one that can pop up with a winning effort here in that final pick 5. So there's a look at Randy and I's thoughts, and let's look at our resident handicappers and their selections. Garnet Barnsdale, Donna Tover, Spot Play, Lily's Last, Ghislaine Paquette ready to win.
Ready to win. I hope you're
Kevin
right, Ghislaine.
Plaucha, Acquired Taste as his spot play there. Again, a filly that I think can pop up with or a mare that can pop up with a big effort there. So moments away here from our first card in 2026. Let's have a night, Randy.
Yeah, let's have a night and make some people some money.
Ourselves, too.
That would be good, too.